This valuation chart captures ConocoPhillips very well. It is a high-quality upstream company, but still a cyclical stock whose multiple expands and compresses with the commodity tape. Historically, the big success was building a larger, more resilient portfolio without abandoning capital discipline. The Marathon Oil deal closed in November 2024, and by 2025 ConocoPhillips had already completed the integration, captured more than $1 billion of synergies on a run-rate basis, and added roughly another $1 billion of one-time benefits. That is important, because the company is no longer just a pure oil beta story. It has become a larger, more diversified E&P platform with stronger lower 48 scale, LNG exposure, and a deeper inventory of low-cost of supply resources. But the historical investor mistake with ConocoPhillips has been the same mistake investors make across the sector, treating peak cycle earnings as if they deserve a permanent premium multiple. Oil producers can look incredibly cheap at the top of the cycle and deceptively expensive at the bottom. In 2025, ConocoPhillips still produced 2,375 MBOED and generated $19.9 billion of CFO, but full-year earnings fell to $8.0 billion, or $6.35 per share, because the average realized price dropped 14% year-over-year to $47.01 per BOE. That is the key lesson from the past. Even a better business can show weaker earnings when pricing softens. Now to the present. The stock is around $117.85 today, very close to the roughly $116 level on your chart. That tells you the market is constructive but not euphoric. Investors clearly respect the portfolio, the Marathon integration, and the shareholder return framework, but they are still discounting the reality that ConocoPhillips remains tied to oil and gas prices. The company's 2026 guidance calls for 2.33 to 2.36 MMBOED of production, about $12 billion of capital expenditures, and $10.2 billion of adjusted operating costs. So the market is asking a simple question. Can ConocoPhillips keep delivering strong free cash flow and returns if commodity prices stay merely decent instead of strong? Looking forward, the estimates zone on your chart matters because ConocoPhillips does not need a heroic growth story to work. It needs durable execution through the cycle. The upside case is clear. Management still plans to return 45% of CFO to shareholders in 2026. It is on track to hit its $5 billion asset disposition target by year-end 2026, and it ended 2025 with 7.6 BBOE of proved reserves. If oil stays supportive, if Marathon synergies keep flowing through, and if the company keeps high-grading the portfolio while protecting the balance sheet, the stock can justify a higher band. But if crude weakens or the cycle disappoints, ConocoPhillips quickly goes back to being treated like a commodity-sensitive value stock where timing matters. Today's price reflects respect for the business, but not full trust in the cycle. Let's go straight into the risks, because with ConocoPhillips, the biggest risk in 2026 is not that the company suddenly becomes low quality. The bigger risk is that a good operator is still living inside a cyclical commodity business. The first and most obvious risk is oil and gas pricing. In 2025, ConocoPhillips' average realized price fell 14% year-over-year, and that alone was enough to push full-year earnings down to $8.0 billion from $9.2 billion, even though production increased sharply. That tells you how powerful the pricing variable still is. If crude weakens again, even solid execution may not protect the stock from multiple compression. The second major risk is that investors overread the Marathon benefits. Yes, the company has already captured more than $1 billion of synergies on a run-rate basis and is targeting more than $1 billion of incremental cost reductions and margin enhancements by year-end 2026. But large acquisitions always come with integration risk, operational overlap, capital allocation trade-offs, management distraction, and the possibility that the easiest wins come first. If synergies slow or the market starts doubting the next leg of improvement, sentiment can cool quickly. Another major risk is the capital structure of the business itself. ConocoPhillips is disciplined, but upstream is still capital intensive. The company guided to about $12 billion of 2026 capex and $10.2 billion of adjusted operating costs, and it ended 2025 with net debt of about $16.0 billion. That is manageable, but it means flexibility is never infinite. If prices soften while costs stay sticky, or if project execution slips, free cash flow can compress faster than equity investors like to admit. There is also underlying asset risk. The company's 2025 reserve replacement ratio was 80%, or 99% organically, which is fine but not something investors can ignore in a depletion business. Add in the normal E&P risks listed by the company itself: volatile commodity prices, OPEC actions, operating hazards, weather permitting, environmental regulation, and geopolitical disruption, and you get the core takeaway. ConocoPhillips' 2026 risk is less about business fragility and more about how quickly even strong operations can feel cyclical when the external backdrop turns. Now the opportunity side, because ConocoPhillips is not just a bet on higher oil. The short-term bull case is that the company keeps proving it can create value even without a perfect macro backdrop. Marathon integration is the first lever. Management already says it captured more than $1 billion of synergies on a run-rate basis in 2025 and is on track for more than $1 billion of incremental cost reductions and margin enhancements by year-end 2026. That means there is still room for operational improvement even before you assume a better commodity tape. The second short-term opportunity is portfolio quality. ConocoPhillips closed $3.2 billion of dispositions in 2025, remains on track for a $5 billion total disposition target by year-end 2026, and has continued selling non-core assets as it streamlines after the Marathon acquisition. That matters because better asset mix can improve margins, reduce noise, and make free cash flow more durable. Add in a 2026 plan to return 45% of CFO to shareholders, plus a 84-cent quarterly ordinary dividend, and the stock has a real support mechanism even if the market stays cautious. Long-term, the bigger story is resilience. ConocoPhillips explicitly frames its strategy around low cost of supply resources, portfolio diversity, disciplined capital allocation, and superior returns through the cycle. That matters because the best E&P companies are not the ones that look amazing only at $90 oil. They are the ones that can still create value across a wider range of prices. The company ended 2025 with 7.6 BBOE of proved reserves, a 3-year reserve replacement ratio of 145%, and a lower net debt position than the year before. That gives it a stronger foundation for the next several years. There is also real project and geographic optionality. ConocoPhillips continues to advance assets like Willow in Alaska, while its LNG-linked and international positions add depth beyond the U.S. shale narrative. So the long-term upside is not simply oil goes up. The stronger upside case is that ConocoPhillips keeps compounding through disciplined reinvestment, buybacks, dividends, and portfolio upgrades, and eventually earns a better market rating because it behaves less like a traditional cyclical driller and more like a returns-first resource allocator. Analyst sentiment is clearly positive, but not one-sided. 19 bullish ratings versus 8 holds and 1 strong sell tells you Wall Street sees ConocoPhillips as one of the higher quality names in upstream energy, but still not as a risk-free story. That makes sense. The company exited 2025 with 2,375 MBOED of production, $19.9 billion of CFO, more than $1 billion of Marathon synergy capture on a run-rate basis, and a 2026 framework that still includes meaningful shareholder returns. The holds and the 1 strong sell are important, though, because they reflect the real debate around the stock today. Investors are not arguing about whether ConocoPhillips is a serious operator. They are arguing about how much of the good news is already reflected when the stock is around $118 while commodity prices remain uncertain. In other words, the disagreement is less about business quality and more about cycle timing, oil price assumptions, and how much premium an upstream company deserves. The next near-term checkpoint is the first quarter earnings release on April 30, 2026. That event matters because it will show whether production, capital discipline, and shareholder returns are staying on track early in the year. Bottom line, analysts broadly like the franchise, but they still want proof that ConocoPhillips can keep outperforming if the macro stays only average rather than great.